Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Denise. I'm a health freedom activist in Northern California, and I have a website called The-Informed-Mama. I also have a YouTube channel called The-Informed-Mama where all of my videos get put up. I've been lagging on it a little bit, but I'm going to be updating that as soon as I can. I want to talk to you guys about the current events that are happening across California. So that way you can get involved and we can start waking up the masses when it comes to the current bill, SB 276, and what it entails. So many people think that this is a vaccine bill. They think this is an anti-vaccine bill, and they think that only anti-vaxxers are concerned with what's going on in California. SB 276 is not a vaccine bill. This is actually a really scary bill that puts our children on a database. So it tracks our kids. Say, your child does have a medical exemption because they have had anaphylactic shock, they have had seizures, which is things that do happen with this pharmaceutical drug. Every pharmaceutical drug has a possible reaction, and sometimes some children react. That is why they have a medical exemption. This bill was introduced by Senator Pan because he stated to his colleagues that doctors in California are selling medical exemptions. So that's how he got this bill so far passed, because he lied. He has not produced any evidence to show that doctors have been doing this. And in every state, including the state of California, we have a medical board. That medical board is responsible for overseeing what doctors do as far as patient care. Doctors get audited and all that good stuff. So there's no reason to have our information passed over to, to other, politicians, to public health departments. And what this does is it puts our children's medical information on a database that gets shared between schools. Schools do not have a very secure database. So now the possibility of it getting intercepted is real. It's a real possibility. So it gets shared between schools, it gets shared between public health. That's already a huge concern. The second concern for this bill is that it puts parents in a corner to say, okay, if your child did not have specific contraindications that the CDC says, so basically if your child didn't almost die, then you're gonna have to vaccinate. And I don't know any parent that would give their child a medication, see them react, and then say, you know what, I'm just gonna keep on giving that medicine because their reaction wasn't that severe, even though it could be seizures, many encephalitis, many extreme reactions can take place. But it's also long-term chronic illnesses that our children have. So if your child's already sick, why are you going to continue to do things that are going to attack their immune system when they're already sick? So we have a patient-doctor relationship here, right? We take our children to the doctor. Our doctor says, maybe continuing to vaccinate isn't in the best interest of your child, which is how we get medical exemptions. We do genetic testing. We look at past history, the reactions, and that family history, which is incredibly important. This bill does away with all of it. So there's going to be no family history. There's not going to be previous reactions. They are overstepping what our doctor has advised us to do. They do this under the guise of for the greater good. But what is next? Once we lose medical freedom the way we're losing it now, who's to say that they're not going to stop at vaccines? They can stop at chemo. They can stop at transplants. They can stop at absolutely, the sky's the limit. Because right now what we're facing is a manufacturer, is a company that has been responsible for the opioid epidemic that was responsible for so many illnesses caused by their product. We're seeing that because their medication's recalled. We're seeing, lawsuits on the TV. If you've experienced this, you have a case for a lawsuit. The only thing that's exempt from that are vaccines. That is the only pharmaceutical drug that our government says, you know what, we're not going to have any liability to this manufacturer. We're not going to do recalls. We're not going to tell you that, if your child had a reaction, to stop that medication. We're going to now mandate it. Anytime you have a government mandating anything, and this goes for insurance, it goes for medication, it's completely out of their hands, and it's illegal. It is not something that the government can put their hands in. They can't put their hands in our healthcare because we didn't delegate that to them, right? We didn't say, we need you guys to take care of this. We're delegating that power to you. And then we get it back. That's not the case here. They have literally taken our freedom of religion. They're now taking our freedom of speech. They're taking our freedom of privacy, our freedom of autonomy. What's next? So this is the issues that we're facing in California, and we have to understand that when California agrees to do something like this, and New York, which is their biggest states across the nation, once they agree to do that, it's going to go to every single state. So I know I have a lot of people who say, you know what, I delay vaccines, or I vaccinate my kids. I just don't give them the HPV vaccine or the flu shot because I get yucky when I get the flu shot. I've had people say, I don't get the flu shot because I get sick, right? I get a headache, I throw up, I don't sleep, I don't eat. So they opt out of that vaccine. So why is it any different when your child experiences the same issues? Parents go online and say, oh, my baby's sleeping so much. Score, they just got their vaccines. Or my baby's not eating. Or my baby's legs are swelling up. My baby has a rash. They're irritable. They're having GI problems. They're having diarrhea. Why are they not being taken care of the way us as parents? If we took a medication that did that to us, we would stop all of it. Why is it any different when it comes to our kids? We have the measles scare is gone because a lot of these bills have passed. So now there's like, we don't need measles scare anymore. So what we're fighting here in California is your right to opt out of it should you not agree with a certain vaccine. We're not telling you not to vaccinate. We're not telling you, stop all of it right now. We're here to give you medical advice. We are simply here to make sure that the government doesn't go into full tyranny and mandate medical procedures. Once you lose medical freedom, it's incredibly hard to get it back. So if you did not know, if you do opt out of the HPV vaccine or you do opt out of the flu vaccine, that is coming to a schedule near you. The CDC, ACIP, which is, I went to in February, which is where they recommend the vaccines to go on the schedule, and then the schools adopt the recommended vaccine schedule from ACIP. So it's a process, but the schools adopt it. Well, HPV vaccine is now going to come on the schedule for children 9 years and over. And if you did not know, HPV is for a sexually transmitted disease. That's what it's for. So your 9-year-old that is not sexually active, right? Your 9-year-old that does not go out making out with a whole bunch of people is now going to get a vaccine for a sexually transmitted disease. And in the state of California and New York, parents do not need to know. There's bills, in California it's AB 499, where 12-year-olds can make medical decisions for themselves. So they can go to school when a mobile clinic, for boys too, a mobile clinic comes to the schools and they line them up for vaccines. They're going to be able to do the flu shot, because the flu shot's getting on the schedule, and the HPV vaccine for boys and girls. That is really scary, especially that once a child hits 12 years old in California, you can no longer look at their medical records. So you don't know what your child's getting. You don't know that they're getting it. What happens if there's a complication? What we're fighting here is the freedom to choose. Many people get upset when they say, how can you choose to poison your kid? That's one end of the spectrum of the non-vaccinating families. However, I believe in our Constitution, and I believe that it's every parent's right to choose what they decide to do with their children. They're not my kids. It's not my business. But what is my business is, on American soil, our states that are supposed to represent the people in California have done such a great job at demonizing our kids, have done such a great job at scaring people to the point to where they actually want our children to die. They want us to die. We saw at the Comic-Con, Josh Coleman put on a great demonstration of tons of people who went with their signs talking about the science of vaccines. And the way that they were treated, they basically saw all the trolls for real, in real life. And it was pretty gross. It's pretty gross. We're in a day and age to where our children are segregated. They're demonized because of their medical status. They are told that they are not worthy. We are treated like second-class citizens. This is history repeating itself all over again. And we saw that. We saw that when we went to the hearing, and they kept us behind the rope. They wouldn't let us in the hallways. They kept us outside because they said that we spread diseases. There was a staffer that coughed on a child and called them retarded because they were not vaccinated. Our elected representatives have forgotten their place. They have forgotten that they are there to represent the people, and their unjust statutes do not align with our Constitution. They also do not align with our California Constitution. We have the right to say no. They can't force us. They cannot force us. There's a fly. So until we can repeal the 1986 Act, which gives manufacturers blanket immunity, we can't sue the manufacturers. And so many people say, you can sue, you can sue. You cannot sue the manufacturers. A family who has had vaccine injury, because vaccine injury exists, just like every other pharmaceutical drug on the market. And remember, these manufacturers are the same manufacturers that produced the opioid epidemic, that produced Vioxx, that produced all of these medications that have harmed. They have blanket immunity from our children. Our kids are not protected. And this is what needs to change. California is seeing a really ugly turn when you force medical procedures, and what they're telling us is, oh, you have a choice. You can either homeschool or you can vaccinate. That's not a choice. We pay our school taxes. If people who do not have any documents can attend public school, our kids should be able to attend public school and be protected. They're not sick. There's no reason why they should be kept out of an entity that the taxpayers pay for. They are public servants. It is an ultimatum, and that's not the way our California Republic works. We should have the choice to opt out of medical procedures when they have a risk. Every drug has a risk. And when you tell parents, you can vaccinate or you can homeschool, When you tell that to parents that are in an underserved community, do you really think that they're going to be able to stay home when California usually is a 2-person income? Because it's so expensive to live here. It's putting us against our backs against the wall. They have our children right in the front lines of this fight, and they think we're going to move. We're not moving. I don't care what I have to do, I'm not moving. We shouldn't have to fight this in the United States. What they're also doing, and this is really, really disturbing, AB, is it 283? I'm going to have to look at it, which forces parents who were on government assistance to vaccinate or get fined, to vaccinate their children that are not in school, 6 and under, or get fined. So you are going into an area that parents are at the worst part of their life. They can't afford to take care of their kids, they got laid off, they get whatever the issue is. And now you're telling them, you know, your kids might be sick, you might have a family history of reactions. This might not be the best idea for you, but in order to feed your family, we're gonna force you to vaccinate. That is coercion. Coercion is not consent, and coercion is not legal. This is extremely scary because it's gonna happen in every state. Right now, homeschoolers are not affected. And the great thing about homeschoolers is they have a great legal defense. So it's incredibly hard to kind of infiltrate what they're doing. So homeschool, find a parent who can help with daycare, find a parent who can help with homeschool if you're a single parent. And right now we have databases going up. But, you know, for the parents that don't know, right? The parents who are not on my feed, or the parents who don't get on Facebook, the parents that are in my neighborhood, they have no idea what's going on. There's little flyer cards that are now being sent out that are saying if your kid's not vaccinated, they cannot attend school. The damage is done in California. Even if SB 276 does not pass, no doctors are going to be writing medical exemptions. None. They are all under investigation because they followed the law. How in the world can they go back and amend SB 277? How can they go back in time and amend this when they said there would be a robust medical exemption program? Obviously, they continue to lie and they continue to lie. Our representatives are acting as though they're not elected. They're acting as though they are kings in their chair, and we are their servants. We saw that with SB 276 hearing Lorena Gonzalez when she didn't let us speak. She interrupted our time. She told us that she doesn't play. This isn't a game. These are our children. So this is the issue with SB 276. And what we're doing on the 28th, July 28th, so next Sunday, we are having informational gatherings. So it's not going to be a threatening environment. It's not going to be, we're not going to be screaming at each other. We never do. We're peaceful. But we're seeing that Pan he's trying to get his supporters to go out also. So we have to counteract the misinformation that they give their followers. So what we're doing, and this is exciting, and if you want to be involved, I'm going to tell you how to be involved, but we have different locations happening on July 28th at 1 o'clock. So every single location is going to be 1 o'clock. Some locations are going to be yellow vest, some aren't. I'm yellow vest, and I'm going to be at Sacramento on the 28th at Cal Expo, which is 1600 Exposition Boulevard, and we are going to be on the sidewalk because that is the last day of the county fair. So we're going to go out with our signs. The theme is red, white, and blue because we all are patriots. We all love our country. We're just ashamed of our government. We are going to be red, white, and blue, and our signs are going to be did you know? So did you know 54% of our children are sick? Did you know your child is going to be put on an unsecured database? Did you know California has the highest rate of vaccination in history? These are did you know, because we want people to come to us and to talk to us and say, you know what, I didn't know that. What are you talking about? Because for me, my movement, my goal is to move away from the vaccine science. We're never going to win that. We haven't won in 50 years. We have to focus on the freedom that we're losing, because everybody loves freedom, right? We all want the freedom to choose. We all want the freedom to decide for our children. We all want the freedom to be left alone by our government. So I'm going to read off the locations. And yes, you can make flyers. On my post, my previous post, I have samples, and those samples of the flyers can be sent over to like Kinko's or whatever and be made as a large, very nice looking board. Joshua Coleman had a great idea to make them nice and cohesive and look all really nice. They're like $10. It's not that much. And then a dollar store backboard with a stake. So that way it's not flying away. People can read it. And we're gonna also have information that we're gonna make ourselves. Oh, hi Michelle. To hand over to people. Did you know? Here, let me back it up for you. Did you know you can't sue? Here, let me back it up for you. Did you know children are sick and will not qualify for a medical exemption? Let me back that up for you. We have to fact check it. Yeah, we have to I don't know what you're fact checking, but this is what we're going to do. We want to make sure that our information is correct. We want to make sure it's backed up. We want to make sure that people understand what this bill is. It's not an anti-vaccine bill. Yes, there's a page called Californians United for Freedom. It's a public page. You can like it, and it has the flyers that you can write out. It has the poster boards that you can have, printed out, and all the information on the location. So I'm going to read off the locations that we have. And if you're interested, if you don't hear your city and you're interested in, leading it, and by leading it, I mean all you have to do is grab some flyers, make your own, grab a board, collect people, and get on the sidewalk. That's it. It doesn't take much to lead. It's not a lot of money. It's like $10 to do your board, and we're gonna be on the sidewalk. So there's no permits required. So the first location is going to be mine, Sacramento, Cal Expo on the sidewalk. The next one is Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, Orange County Angel Stadium, Modesto at the Modesto State Theater on 10th Street, Redding at the Redding at Hilltop, Riverside at the Citibank parking lot, San Diego at the Kissing Statue in Seaport, Butte at the Chico Mall, Rancho Cucamonga at Victoria Gardens, Long Beach, this is my favorite, Long Beach, LBC, Snoop Dogg is having a concert there, and we know that Snoop Dogg is part of our movement because he says, F that flu shot, I'm not gonna get it. Well, Stephanie made a flyer that shows Snoop Dogg on there and his quote, and also Dr. Sebi, because that area is super woke. So she's gonna wake them up a little bit more. And then Santa Rosa at the Courthouse Square. So if you are interested in doing any of these, if you didn't hear your city and you're interested in doing it, you can email californiansunited@protonmail.com. And on the page of Californians United for Freedom, there's going to be templates of how you make your signs. There's going to be the location on, every location that we have available. And if you want to participate and you don't see your location, email us and then we'll send you the information that you need to create your local thing. So can you make a post with all locations? Yes. My previous post before I got on live has a black flyer with all the locations with the point of contact, and then it has the flyers on how you can make your boards. And I appreciate seeing everybody's signs. You know, we're so used to writing our hand signs and being real grassroots, but the idea that Josh had was great. Send it to your printing place, have a really clear sign, because we're going to be in busy areas, so we're just going to hold it up. So that way people passing by will stop and ask us questions. We want to engage the community with facts. No, you don't need a proton mail. Once we create a community with facts, those people will be able to call it's Californians United for Freedom, and it's a Facebook page. So that those people will be able to call their representatives. And just remember, right now they're on summer break. And summer break means that your representative is in your district. Go flood their districts. Get 5-10 people together and go talk to them about SB 276, because we saw with Rivas, they are not reading the bills, which is really scary when we have a bill that's affecting our children in California and they're just passing it like nothing. Sure, let's just pass this over. That is dangerous and too much government at that point. When you have 2,800 bills that are crossing your desk, that's a red flag that's too much government. There's too many bills going on that restrict our freedoms. So when I go out speaking, I talk to patriots, I talk to homeschoolers, I talk to parents who, the sex ed parents who just want to make sure that they're doing the best they can with their kids. If you vaccinate, cool, come out and support your right to choose which vaccines you want to do. If you don't vaccinate, come out and help us out with boots on the ground, talking to the community. Nothing's going to get done on Facebook, because now we're seeing that Facebook censors us. Facebook doesn't want our information out there. So get into the community and start talking to them with facts. Facts are the most important things right now. We have a lot of emotion. We have a lot of, anger. Anger comes to mind. I'm very upset and I'm pissed off that we have to fight this. But we the people, and that's my shirt. My shirt says, I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. We have domestic terrorism right now within our government, and we're seeing that in every state because we slept on this. To be quite honest, me too, I didn't get involved in politics. I did not care about I hate politics. And I only got involved when it affected me. But that's not how you make change. You have to continue to be involved and continue to support your freedom and your Constitution, or it's going to get ripped out from under your feet faster than you can blink. So, it's time to wake up. We think we're woke, but not really. I wasn't really until I started going to these hearings and seeing what the heck is happening in our government. Why are they passing so many restrictive bills? Why are they not listening to their constituents? Why do they have locked doors? Why are we not allowed to talk to the people we elected? We have soldiers who have fought for our freedom, right? That's what they tell us. They tell us that we're sending our soldiers out to fight for freedom. They're fighting false wars, that we need our soldiers to fight here on American soil because we are under attack by domestic terrorists. Domestic terrorists that look like Senator Pan and Lorena Gonzalez. They don't care about our kids. Those are the same people that say, Lorena Gonzalez supports the Latino community. We want our unions, we want all these people because they want the vote. But yet they're passing bills that are going to affect the lower income community that they're supposed to be protecting. Damn it, Fly. We're in a mess. We're in a really bad mess right now. But I have complete faith that with enough people standing up, we will be able to beat this bill. We made it political. We showed people how disgusting this behavior was. Just because it's not your movement doesn't mean it's not relevant. What happens when there's a bill like a gun bill that passes California, and you have people like her at their chair acting like kings, not wanting to listen to your concerns as a constituent? What happens when it's a homeschool bill? What happens when it's a sex ed bill? What happens when it's a bill that directly affects you? You don't want to say that you could have, should have, would have. This is the time to get involved now. We have many new people. I am new to this as well, to politics, and I don't really know how to work with our legislators because I'm super fed up with them. But this is the time to put them on the spot now. Make it political. Make it, we are your constituents. How dare you act like that? We don't need violence. And we're seeing those people flip it, right? They're flipping the script. They're making it about vaccines. Like Nathan Fletcher said, I'll debate vaccines, right? That's Lorena Gonzalez's husband. I'll debate vaccines. Well, Nathan, you're a little dollar short and a day late. We're not talking about vaccines now. We are talking about our representatives not representing us. We are talking about our representatives acting like kings, not elected officials, not public servants. We're talking about the behavior that they display while holding a chair that is supposed to be representing we, the people. That's what this is about. It's not about vaccines anymore. That was lost in 277. We have our representatives that betrayed we, the people in general. And it's time to clean up California, and it's time to take it back. So, if you did not hear your city, email CaliforniansUnited@protonmail.com if you would like to head up your location. How beautiful would it be for all of California to show up at the same time, the same day, holding the same signs, giving information to the public, instead of just sitting at home. You know, for those who can show, you should be showing up. For those who can, please make it. And I completely understand for those that are tired. I get it. We're tired. Those who have vaccine-injured children, those single income households that have to work, I understand that. This is not towards you guys. This is for people who can show up. Please show up and support freedom. That is what this is about. It's not about vaccines. So if you guys have any questions, you can email. This event is going to be just like an hour and a half, however you want it. Take your time, bring your kids. It's a family-friendly event. Have your signs and just show up for an hour. You can even go on your lunch, take a later lunch. Good. None of us are giving up. They think we're going to move, right? They think we're just going to say, okay, you can hear, have our children. No. We fight with our teeth showing when it comes to our kids. So have a great day. That's it for my spill. I'm excited to have this going on. And also I'll be in Orange County on August 2nd to a real to true health fair with Brittany Cara, Jamie Lynn Juarez, Allison Serrano. And we're gonna go and we're gonna tell people how to heal and how to move away from the pharmaceutical industry. So thank you guys so much. I would love to have this going nationwide, to see it in New York, especially to see it in the states that are affected by these bills. Ohio, man, you guys are awesome. You guys fought tooth and nail and won. It can be done. We can win. So I'll see you guys next time, and please show up or please lead if you did not hear your city. I'll talk to you guys later.